Hi, I'm Valeria, from the Unger Academy team, and today one of our very successful students, Michele, is here with us to talk about how he managed to earn $30,000 in 1 year, just by using the method we teach at Unger Academy. So hello Michele, welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Actually, as we were saying, we have already spoken several times on various occasions, so by now I know a little bit about you, what you do, and also a little bit of your experience as a trader as you are living it, also other things that I hope we can learn more about during the interview. So as a first thing I wanted to ask you too, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do in life, what's your job?
Yes, my name is Michele Gallanti, I'm 43 years old, I live in a small town in the countryside of the Marca region. As my primary job, I have a small company that produces lighting fixtures for the industrial sector. As a second job, I do trading with the hope that, who knows? One day it could also become my first job. I'm married with 2 kids, and that's it.
Well, that sounds demanding enough. So, what problems did you have before you joined our program?
There were different kinds of problems, sort of like the ones that, I guess, kind of every beginner trader has. From the fact that I was bombarded with so many opinions, so many advertisements that mislead on the path that you have to do and how to do it, but mainly I found more than anything else difficulties on a character level, on managing discretionary trading. Opening, closing a position, watching it move, not knowing whether to close it, whether to keep it open. I thought the systematic approach was the best thing because, sticking to the rules and following them without taking another path, following the one that the system lays out, I think that it's the best thing for me.
Well, yes, often those who arrive at the Unger Academy have experiences as beginners who have a basic understanding, or as discretionary traders who are not really satisfied with their results, because they have perhaps run into the same difficulties as you, especially the psychological aspect, or even the time spent on trading, which I believe is much more compared to the systematic approach.
It's also an issue. Discretionary is much more subjective because everyone sees a graph, or, for that matter, the performance of a stock, in their own way. It can be very easy for some to succeed in the moment of entering the market, at the moment of exiting. While for others, especially for beginners like me, it is not so simple, so you need a lot of experience, you must also have a little talent, maybe more than a little. It's one thing that I consider to be very normal.
That's what Andrea also says though, about the discretionary approach. He doesn't deny that it has potential and so on, but it just takes a certain particular talent maybe to do well.
I think so.
Okay. Why did you choose to join our program over the other programs out there?
I simply chose by doing research. When I decided to take the path of systematic trading, I started to search the internet for the most prominent, most renowned traders in Italy. Andrea was at the top, so I looked him up, I looked at his story, what he had done. I started following him in 2018, so it may not have been that long ago. There wasn't as much material as there is now. But I enjoyed it all, and I understood that if you want to take an important path, you have to do it with someone who has something substantial to give you. Someone who doesn't sell smoke, but has experience and results behind them, that I don't think anyone else has had yet, or am I wrong?
Well, if you're talking about the World Championship, he was the only one.
The World Championship was, in my opinion, the starting point to then make it a business. I don't know, maybe there are others who do it as their main job, but he does it by explaining how he did it and showing the results he gets from year to year. Because I watch his reports at the end of the year of how it went.
Did you see the one with Platch at the end of the year?
Exactly, there are few people that do it, maybe none.
In regards to our program, is there anything in particular that has really helped you? I mean, why was it really so effective for you?
So, I immediately liked the fact that Unger Academy taught me a way of working. I always say it gave me the toolbox to be able to work. It didn't give me a strategy, but it gave me a very simple set of concepts, but concepts that are easy to understand, and once you learn them, you are able to build and shape your own business, based on your needs. Basically, that's what I'm most passionate about. The concept that you can replicate in different markets, in different ways based on my own reality. What I want to do. To build strategies following those concepts that are basic, that are very simple but are functional. You can see why the strategy works.
Okay, yes, clear. In fact, there is also the module dedicated specifically to evaluating strategies, etc., which helps with just that. So, after applying what you learned in the program, what results did you get?
I started with small amounts of money, both because you obviously don't start working at full steam, and because I don't really like paper trading. I preferred to start with small amounts, working on Forex and slowly build my structure. And then in 2020, early 2020, I said, okay, let's start with the appropriate capital, with the strategies that I had already developed in the meantime. I started moving well, except for the COVID period where the markets were not a little bit, they were super volatile. There for a 15 or 20 days I stopped. But then, when I resumed, the results were very good, and I asked myself if it was luck, a lucky period because the markets were doing great, and whatever you did, you earned. So I kind of took my foot off the gas. But then in September, after the holidays, I started again, and the results continued to go well.
Gradually it came in. I saw your statements. I saw that between December and January, in a year, you managed to make precisely the $30,000 I mentioned at the beginning. How has your life changed since you achieved this, on a personal level or in any way?
I realized that with sacrifice, with work, satisfaction comes. I can say that I'm proud of myself. Of the fact that slowly, aside from the profit that I enjoyed, the fact that I have built something that is growing and that I believe very much, can become my primary source of income in the future. So this emphasizes even more that if you do things the right way, with commitment, and also have the luck and the skill to choose who accompanies you on this journey, to make the right choices, there are satisfactions and, who knows, even a little bit of making dreams come true.
Yes, dreams that one keeps locked away. I think it only fitting. Now, this is a particular question and I'm curious about your answer. Where do you think you would be right now if you hadn't decided to choose our program, compared to where you were at the point in time before you found Unger?
I probably wouldn't be trading, I don't know. The possibilities I think are twofold. I'd still be banging my head trying to figure out how to solve certain problems, or I'd probably be doing something else. I'd be 100% on my current job.
Instead, as a last thing I would like to ask you, what would you maybe say to those who watch the interview and are still undecided whether or not to participate in our program?
So first of all I would say that the choice certainly leaves no doubt, as I said before. Here you learn a trade, a job, and it is, shall we say, a very important commitment. Before embarking on this path, you need to be well aware of what you want to do and what you can put in, of time, commitment and sacrifice. Because this isn't a school that gives you strategies that you can put in the market and the next day you get your paycheck. This is an activity where there are many things to learn, you have to test, you have to gain experience, you have to get angry, but you have to be 110% committed.
You have to roll up your sleeves, absolutely.
As in all jobs, as in all things where you start from scratch, it is not that no one is born a lawyer, is born, I don't know, a builder, but you get there with experience and you do it in the field. Here you do it by working, with the knowledge that on the one hand there may be learning mistakes, but more importantly, you actually lose money. So first you have to really study and commit yourself, above all else. You can start a little at a time, but you can't become a pro overnight.
Yes, I understand. It's what we said before in other times. The fact that very often it happens that there are people around who promise, who knows what? That trading in an easy and so on. Often lately we have seen, and we get a lot of comments from people who are being scammed just hoping to find the easy way to trade. They want the shortcut, but shortcuts have to be evaluated.
But I trust that people mainly have to try to reason things out before accepting something. All of us, when we want to make a purchase, like when we want to decide on which mobile phone to buy, we inquire, look, search for a mobile phone. Instead, with our savings or our future that we've set aside through sacrifice, we don't. We trust the first person who comes along with our money, our savings. Let's think before we do.
Yes, it would require more caution, definitely, even more for savings than with a mobile, so there should be more caution for that very reason, so you're totally right. Let me tell you, on behalf of the team, we're really excited to see your growth and the results you're achieving with our program, really fantastic, and we wish you continued success.
Let's hope so.
Absolutely, and I want to thank you for being here with me today. So I thank you for your time and for sharing your story with us.
It was my pleasure.
For me too, thank you. Bye Michele, bye everybody.
Bye everyone.